And I guess like that's like part of my fucking frustration with like the spectacle of a lot of these like quote unquote discoveries is that like it just kind of eclipses this thing that I think that we have, you know, kind of stressed on this show, right? Which is that like this story is a way, like the story and the figures in this story and what kind of, and the activities of the figures in this story across like sexual like exploits and you know, criminal activity and financial criminal activity and all, and, you know, everything in between are all products of a system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like us understanding all of these things in these relationships helps us understand how this system historically developed to produce these things. You know what I mean? And all of that gets lost in this fucking like meme spectacle of this bullshit list that doesn't even fucking exist.
Yeah, I think it's also just like, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those, it's this like kind of millenarian impulse that people have too. It's like there's going to be some apocalyptic revelation every 6 months that will like completely change the political landscape as we know it.
Right.
And like that you see that frequently. And Epstein, I think, provides like a really good thing to hold on to for a lot of people because like this is like the key that unlocks the deep state that will take it all down.
Yeah.
Which is just like, I don't really know if
First of all,
people,
obviously that's Vivek who will do that.
Vivek Ramaswamy will be the one that does that.
Sure.
But it's the
Epstein of presidential candidates, as I like to call him.
Absolutely, yeah. Man of letters, man of science. But and a man of means. But yeah, I think that like something that bothers me, and I went in one of those like Twitter. I got invited to be in one of those like insane person Twitter spaces yesterday, which I've done once
What's
before.
What's the guy's name again?
What is it? Mario Nafwal or something like that? Yeah.
He's crazy.
I thought it was going to be, he wasn't even in it. It was just some other guy, or he was in it, but like he probably wasn't. It was like his account was. It was like some other fucking freak that was like the person yapping away. But it was like listening to kind of like this, I would say somewhat ideologically diverse group of people kind of like talk about their interpretations of this was just like, I was like, oh, we're like, you're on the moon. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I think I'm out there, but I'm like, what? You're like, this is just like a weird fantasy thing for you. And I think that there is this like escape into fantasy that a lot of people take with this stuff. Like this will be like the key to finally like unlocking and destroying their enemies or whatever. But like it's hard for me to understand if anyone actually believes that, or is it just like a way to kind of like a media jostling Twitter account thing.
It's just shit for people to talk about.
It's just shit for people to talk about.
It's content, baby. It all comes back to content. It was strange
because even in this like very big like Twitter, thousands of people in there were still people talking about like a client list. And I'm like, what list are you talking about? Yeah. Like the list is out. Like there was some more documents unredacted, but there were like letters and motions and stuff like that. It wasn't any. It wasn't.
There's no list.
In those documents there is no list. Like. And but there's like this willing it into existence, which I part of me understands the emotional appeal of that, right? Is because you want some final atom bomb that will like incinerate your enemies and the people that you don't like and whatever you want to say. But like that just was not present in these documents. But I feel like people are still going to act like it was, and that my hunch is that this like disclosure list that Ghislaine's lawyers provided in a civil suit from 2016 will like become melded in with all this other kind of lore into the Epstein client list. Yeah. But maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.